Greetings, fellow Himalayan civil planners. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Laysara Summit Kingdom. Episode 6, Top Tier Houses. So one thing you can do for avalanche prevention is something like this. So this road here, I'm going to temporarily destroy it. I know it causes a giant... Look at that. That's how damning it is when you mess with these kind of things. And I'm gonna stick a bunch of foresters in there. And all these foresters, they don't produce a lot of wood because we're in the high zone, but this will stop snow from cascading from that snow cap down below, which causes more harm than the cost of running those foresters, I think. And then I can collect all that wood and send it to charcoal makers if I want. I don't have to. At some point, it might even not make sense to do it because it's so cheap to run these foresters at 4 upkeep a pop that I could just have the foresters run and not collect the wood because there's not a lot of wood, honestly. So perhaps I do that. I do need a little bit more grain for my my lowlanders. There we go. Grain needs are met. And we're just about done, with digging out everything that got snowed in. Good. Disable and move the plow back. So hopefully, the next time avalanches hit this area, it gets mitigated fully by the foresters. So that it would, if that does happen, it would actually open up this area for construction, which could be nice to add in, whatever other kind of infrastructure that we need. I haven't forgotten about you. Let's get you walled. And I'll try to have it be as symmetrical as possible. I mean, in this game, it's like not always all that possible. But in this instance, it looks pretty good. All right, there we go. So we have a fully enclosed second monastery. And those houses are ready to upgrade when we need. And they get them up higher. I think they have the same amount of progress that the other one does. Where it's like add incense and add textiles. Yeah. Nice. It's a pretty good position to be in. So let's do textiles then, shall we? So the way to do that would be to collect all of the textiles into some sort of carrier post or cart post. In order to do that, I need a little bit more space. So now I'm collecting all of the wool from these yak shacks that otherwise wasn't doing anything, and we can put those in a weavery. So each weavery can take 4 wool, and now we have you can even do one more weavery. Now we have textiles to be able to supply for the monks to level up to tier 4. And the reason I'm doing that is because the weaveries require, and the cart post requires artisans, so it puts them to work so that they're productive. So that also means that up here, we're going to want a commodity supplier, which is a little tricky because I don't really have a lot of space to build. But I'm going to get rid of some of these temporary houses so that I can somehow fit a commodity supplier in there. I don't know if this is in the snow zone. It might get snowed in there. Let's see if I can't put it up here. Yeah, apparently that works. Alright. Let's get a commodity supplier. Perfect. So this commodity supplier supplies all those monks. And let's bring in the textiles. So one more cart post. And this supplies the monks. And there it is. There's actually one house not getting it. House, you killing me. There we go. All right. The rest of the way would be incense and gong, I'd imagine. But let's do a commodity supplier for the other monastery as well. So we're not picking favorites. I could probably put it there, maybe? That hits all houses. Perfect. I might not have enough textiles. Yeah, surplus of only 2, so let's get one more weavery. Surplus of 6. That'll work. Bring this all the way over. Done. So now these have the same supply levels as the original ones. So they're missing incense and missing like a gong or something. So for incense, they work at a shrine, and a shrine here would cover all of these buildings. So if that's supplied with incense, and I'm going to disable this for now, but if that's supplied with incense, and then we also have a gong, maybe here. Yeah. Then this will all be level 4. So let's bring the incense in. I have a surplus of 8. So what I could do is I could focus on one monastery, this one, this golden monastery, because it's surrounded by gold mines, as the monastery to go to level 4 first. And then once I have the infrastructure for some more incense, I can work on the other one. But now we have a very scalable monk population. We have a very scalable lowlander and artisan population. My artisans are probably the ones, my lowlanders are probably the ones most behind, because I don't have the capacity to go up to level 4 with them. So I'll add as many as I can now. I could probably fit a few more buildings in there if I needed to. Oh, and you guys need more cheese and more honey. Got it. Honey's done. And cheese is going to be really easy too, because I have a surplus of milk. Cheese is done. Okay, another deficit as we scale up of wheat. This might be the time to consolidate my farms. But I'm going to hold off. I think it is the time to consolidate farms, but like, I'm just not doing it. Because of the time partially because of the time left in the stream, and partially just because it's it's a bit of a complexity nightmare. And it's easier for me to just do this. Still not in range? There. Okay. Let's finally... I'm just gonna push up my artisans all the way up. Oh. We need to offer more citizens access to a gong because we have a weather breakdown and they're scared. Got it. I think all of the artisans have access to a gong, but none of our lowlanders, so that's a really easy solution, where I just add a gong to them. Now, they don't need a gong to level up, but that resolves the weather breakdown, and then I can just destroy the gong. Little cheese, but like, why fret about it? Take the easy win. And there we go. Current objective is done. And with all of the additional artisans, I'm making a lot more tax money, so I can have more money to play with. All right, that's enough. We've seriously neglected our spiritual development. We need to bring more monks here. Hey, we're following my brilliant plan. Don't interfere. Listen, I'm sure we'd all benefit from having more monks in our town. That surely boost our productivity, which is important, right? All right, have it your way then. But make sure you don't lower our housing quality metrics. So, have 26 monk dormitories at level 4. Luckily, I've been working towards that this whole time. So that's 11 of them already. And some of these are level 3 and will easily go up to level 4 provided they just get a little bit more access to like gongs and eggs and things like that. All right, so let's add supply of eggs and everything else the monks want. So eggs is done. What's your deal? You ran out of food. So we still have some cheese shortages. Add a little bit more cheese. So I'm already halfway to the monk dormitories. And obviously we have a ton of unemployed artisans and monks that are just like paying donations. It's not terrible. And cheese is done. Let's make sure that the monks up here are happy. These are all tier 4 monks. No, this one's tier 3. The gong is a bit too far. These are all tier 4 monks now. And it's a pretty attractive layout, I will have to say. You know, I like it. It's nice and symmetrical. It'd be even more symmetrical if I did this. Oops. Too expensive. Cheap road. There we go. Very nice. Alright. So you guys are all set. Needs are met. Good. I'm a little over halfway there. So one thing I hadn't done is set up incense and a gong for these guys. So we're going to have to do that in order to get them all the way up. So I need 12 more dormitories. So I think what might make sense is these rear 2 dormitories getting the old nukage. In fact, maybe these as well. So we have a little bit more space to play with to be able to supply the incense and the gong. So I'm going to do this. Paring this monastery down a little bit, but we still have more than enough monks unemployed. Gong, shrine, and then making sure that there's the road infrastructure so that they all equally can access the gong and shrine. So the shrine doesn't cover that house. And the gong, likewise, doesn't cover the other one over there. With all these taxpayers, I can definitely increase infrastructure. In fact, let's just go crazy and fully enclose this with the highest paved walls, or floors, rather. Okay, cool. Some of this stuff is no longer needed. I'm going to pause and get rid of this weird wall out here. Oh, it kept the floor, kept the roads. There we go. All fixed. All right. Bring our incense supplier, which doesn't have enough supply for this shrine. But bring that out, and some of these houses are now supplied the incense that they need, but not all of them. So we have some improvements to make. Also, the gong doesn't quite reach this house. Although, interestingly, the incense does. So I guess the gong has shorter range. We can also fix just the way the back wall looks, because that looks cleaner, I think. Alright, so let's ramp up our incense a little bit so that we have enough incense to supply the next shrine. Oops. So this incense maker then needs herbs and cedar. And we need to add herbalists to meet the demand and add cedar production to meet the demand. Done. And we have a big old surplus of incense now. What can be done about supplying that house with gong access? Ooh, another avalanche. Ah, it's for a spot that doesn't really matter. I think I know what to do. Let's delete this road. And just put the road down here. Alright, perfect. It's done. A rather elegant solution, which is rare for me. Well, let's get our dormitories up. We'll probably have some food shortages. No, surprisingly not. And all of these extra dorms that were like on the outskirts, we no longer need, so I can get rid of them. All right, let me think. I know, we need more people now. But we just got a ton new citizens. You cannot have too much of a good thing. We need more hands to work. And if there's not enough work, we'll make some. Real capitalist, that guy is. Reach a population of 2550. So we really don't have the capacity to add any additional monks. What we can do, if we want to increase our research level, is to just plop down some academies. Right? Because like we could very easily get up to tier 8 with all the monks that are working, because they can just commute to these 2 academies and we'll hit 8. 8's kind of like the big threshold to unlock everything. As you see, the most complex stuff here, the ornamented cedar production, is at 8, where you have a painted cedar and then you take ornamentation made of gold and copper and you add it to the cedar for ornamented cedar, which is the what is required for the summit. Speaking of the summit, that is, if you click this little arrow here, you can see that these are all objectives leading to building a summit temple. So the summit temple itself requires a lift station and lift towers, kind of like a ski slope a bit, which then goes up to the summit. So everything sort of coalesces to a summit kingdom, which is the name of the. But yeah, back to what we were working on. So we're at 1706, and what we want to be doing is like, just like our artisan advisor had advised, we want to add population, but we want to make sure that they're working so that they're productive. So one of the things I'm currently missing is Lowlander hut tier 4, and I think that's probably a good thing to work towards, so that we can get scale up our Lowlander population without having to build a second district. So one easy thing to supply. So the easiest things to supply would be like textiles. Although, with that said, the amount of textile surplus that we have left is tapped. But supply textiles, which for some of these houses just got supplied, and then supply both smoked meat and butter tea. So which of these yak houses aren't sending their wool? Because I built another yak house. Oh, it's this one. The wool's too far. Well, I can fix that. Wow. Alright. Still not in range. I will bring out the big guns. That unfortunately don't really give me enough surplus. But I'm sure at some point I am going to need more. No, maybe actually we don't even supply them with textiles. We could do a yak guardian, and that gets us more bang for our buck. So I could put a yak guardian here, And just add some yaks, and that might be a little bit easier. There we go. So Yak Guardian, and now it's smoked meat and butter tea. I'll probably need 2 things of smoked meat, I'd imagine, because we have a lot of lowlanders. They're gonna, as soon as I start supplying it, they're gonna need their demand, the supply demand to be met. So I will plan ahead for doubling it. So here is a whole bunch of meat. So we have a surplus of 16. I'm also probably going to need more charcoal burners, because we only have a surplus of 1 charcoal. It's certainly not enough. So for now, I'll do 1 more charcoal, but we might need even more than that. There we go. We got some charcoal. And go to the smoked meat production. Oh, how much? Wow, I'm already having a Lowlander pop deficit. The other thing to consider is like how much salt we even have available to us, because I might need to ramp up salt mines too. So we were getting our salt from up here. I have 2 salt left. That should be enough, because we're only using 2 of 4. Let's hope. All right, let's put the smokehouses in. Supply the smokehouses with charcoal. And I need 1 more charcoal to finish that off and supply them with meat. And salt. Oh, I am not making enough copper utensils too. So there it is. They've got the smoked meat. I think they all have supply to smoked meat. It has been fully met. There is some shortages of copper utensils for the butter lamp maker, and that would require an entirely new tapped copper mine. It's not a bad idea, but that's kind of out of scope of what I'm currently working on. And then we also need more charcoal, and that isn't out of scope of what I'm working on, because okay, so the charcoal shortage is done. So last but not least, butter tea. Because the lowlanders require a food type to max out, and butter tea is the only option left. So butter tea. Yak shacks to a butter beater. So I already have butter beaters. In fact, how much spare butter do I have? Oh, my butter beaters are going straight to butter lamp makers, so I don't have any spare at all. But I have a little bit of surplus of milk, but certainly not enough to like really ramp this up. And then it's herbs and salt, which I don't have a second salt mine, to go for the butter tea brewer. And that could then, so I'll build one now. The herbs is easy to do. I believe I already have a surplus of herbs. Yeah, I already have a surplus of 4, so I can just bring that down. Done. And this requires 9 butter. And the butter beaters only make 6 piece. So I'm going to need at least 2 of those. And you can see where this is going. The space here is being eaten up very quickly. So that's a little bit more milk. And these butter beaters are going to need to send their butter to... So let me try to move this to a very specific spot. If we're even to add it here. So it might make sense. Yakshat's at 9. No, I'll try to keep it up here. Just it's becoming a little tricky. So we got 12 spare milk. So here's the butter beaters for the milk. So that makes 12 butter. And then that butter needs to cart here to there. So now all that's left is a little salt. That's it. Now I'm not sure. Yeah, so there is a bit of a collision issue with the salt mine here. Where, like, because of the back wall of the monastery, I can't build a salt mine there. So let's forget that salt mine. We have other salt mine opportunities over here. The issue is it will just need to get carted in a second cart. But, oh well. Or, alternatively, build 2 salt mines here and then replace the original one. To phase the original one out so we only have 1 cart. I think that makes more sense. So that means all of what this was supplying, these 4 smokehouses, will have to be fixed. But I'm going to destroy this and this. I'm going to repair that path so it looks nicer. All right. Wow, look at the deficit. Oh, my lord. All right, so send that out to the smokehouses. Methinks they just got a little bit too pissed. And then last but not least, the salt out to the butter tea. Okay. And then the butter tea is supplied. And now, voila! We have tier 4 lowlanders for the first time. Very nice homes. Research level 8. And all of the homes now can be tier 4. Now we do have some shortages. So there's there is a shortage of wheat for our artisans. So the time remaining that I have, I'm just going to fix some of the shortages because I don't have a ton of time. So that shortage is done. Supply level for the butter tea is too low. That's a little bit more complicated. But I think for now I could just double up the butter tea maker. And then supply it with whatever was left over. So there's a little bit of butter left here. So it's going to work at a third capacity, but that should be all right. There is not enough surplus herbs, but that's fixable. And then there was still salt left over too. Alright, now there is no longer a butter tea shortage. Apparently a root was broken. Yeah, you can't reach the mill. I see. This is why I've been trying to avoid consolidating. I'm just going to destroy that because I don't even need it. All right, missing resources. That's not an issue. I don't think we have any other shortages. Yeah, cool. Obviously, as I add the remaining 700 population needed to hit the threshold, we're going to hit a lot of other shortages. But I think I am just about out of time, and this is a pretty good stopping point, having hit tier 4 for all 3 casts, and hitting the research level required for the summit temple, or the summit mount. What is it called? I should know. Oh my god. What is it called? The summit temple. Okay, no, I got it right. So this is a pretty good point to leave off. Thank you for tuning in to Laysara Summit Kingdom, which originally streamed live on Twitch May 3rd and May 4th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams, as well as a link to Twitch. If you would like to join my Discord, a link can be found in the description of this video as well. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Laysarans.